Can you guys see my screen now?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so good evening everyone. Welcome to today's class. Um, this class is going to be really helpful to everyone who is even just joining the community recently, and for those who have already been part of the Checkmate community. And what we are going to be doing today is simply taking everyone on how to actually design a product, a fintech product from scratch. So you would know exactly the things you need to do first before you actually start a project, right? In the past week, I think we have had about 6 classes where we have been able to teach you, um, like introduce it to Figma, introduce it to UI UX, and we have quite designed something together, a landing page and a few onboarding screens, right? But that was to help us to be able to allow us to understand the meaning, the basics and the fundamentals. But now we are going to be actually taking it step by step on how exactly you are meant to actually design a project. So if a client meets you today or meets you tomorrow, you can know exactly what the first step, the second step, the third step, and on till you are done with the project. So we are going to be going like step by step, and I would like each and every one of us to follow. And the questions, if you have any questions, you can ask after the class, right? There will be a time for questions. So the first thing I would be talking about is what we are going to be achieving, because it's going to be more like a 3 days class, right? And after the 3 days, then we'll start, designing, right? So um, within these 3 days, what we are going to be understanding is, when you are being given a project brief, you would learn how to understand what a project brief is all about. Like when a client sends you a project brief, you would be able to look at it, then from there understand, oh, this is what this client is telling me to do, this is what I meant to do, and this is what I meant to focus on. You'll be able to define the problem, right? What problem is this product going to solve, right? For instance, we have OPay, we have Piggyvest, we have um, different apps, right? And we have different products that are out there. They are solving a problem, right? They are not just made for just because a couple of people just came together and said they just want to make a product. No, there's a problem they saw, and there's a reason why that product was created. So we'll be understanding the problem from the project brief, right? So we'll be able to identify the users of that product. Then we can now plan like the app structure. Okay, what is this app? Where maybe what is where's this app going to start from, what are the screens needed and stuff like that. Also, we're going to be creating user flows and wireframes. We'll be building a small design system, right? Just because we are beginners and we're trying to get everything together, so we're building a design system to help us. We're creating reusable components, right? Will tell us what components is at later on during the class, and then we will now start designing. So when we have been able to understand all these, then we'll now go to this last part. That's when the design comes in, right? There are some certain processes you have to do before you start designing. Okay, so now we already know what we're going to achieve after this 3 days class. So welcome to day one, right? Welcome to day one mates. And for those joining us, we call ourselves mates, right? And that's what we are known by. So for day one, what we are going to be doing is understanding the project, and these are the couple of things we'll be covering together in today's class. The first is reading the project brief together. So I created an example, and please, I would like each and every one of us to follow, because I will be giving you a task after the class, right, and an assignment which you will be submitting, right? And if you understand this properly, it will help you to understand how to go ahead and do the task, right? How to actually understand the first thing you are meant to do when you have a client brief, or you are in a company and they send you a brief. You know the first thing to do, right? Then the next thing we're also going to be doing today is explaining the product in simple terms, right? Then we're also going to be defining the problem and also having, generating our problem statement. And then after that, we'll be defining the users of this product, and then we'll be doing something which we call competitor analysis. Now, this is not just gibberish. This is not just text. Um, this is not just us putting words together. It is we actually telling you exactly what you have to do first before you start a project. So now let's go to the project brief. Now let's assume our project brief, a client reaches out to us, and the app that this person has is called Swift Serve or Swift Serve. And this Swift Serve is like a fintech startup. And what they want us to do is to help. Okay, it's a fintech startup that wants to help small business owners and market traders access banking services without visiting a bank branch. So that is what their fintech product is known for. They want us. They are a fintech startup that what they are created for is to help small business owners, market traders access banking services without having to visit a bank. Simple. Now, what will this app allow the users to do? The first thing is they want to allow the users to find nearby agents, withdraw cash, transfer money, fund their wallets, pay suppliers, and view transaction records. Now, the company, which is Swift Serve, wants the experience to be fast, reliable, and easy to use for people who may not be tech savvy. This is simple. This is the project brief we have been given by a client. This is the project brief we have been given by someone who wants us to do work for us, right? Please give me a second. Okay, sorry everyone. Are we still there? Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, thank you very much. Are we following so far? Have you been able to understand just the basics of what we are going through? If you understand, another thumbs up for me, please. Okay, so I believe we have been able to just understand the basics, right? Now we have been given a project brief. We have not started anything. This is what the client has sent to us. Now what we want to do is carefully break this down to be able to understand what our design would now look like, because like this we don't even know where our design is. We just know this is what Swift Serve want us to do, and we are now going to break it down little by little. Now the breakdown is this. Let's break it down together. Number one, we have to break it down as to um what's it called. Let me first go back. Now we have to break it as to what. Number one, Swift Serve is the name of the company, and what are they? They are a fintech startup. So now we know we are working on a fintech product. That's number one. Number two, the Swift Serve, this company wants to help small business owners and market traders. Those are the people they want to help. That is their target audience. Number three, the app that we are building, Swift Serve that we are building, should be able to allow users find nearby agents, withdraw cash, transfer money, fund their wallet, and pay suppliers. Now this is what Swift Serve is all about, and they want a service that is fast, reliable, and easy to use. Now we have broken it down. The next thing that we want to do is to define the problem. Now there's a very easy way to define a problem. When you have a client brief or a company gives you a brief to carry out a task, you would have to break it down, which we have already done, then define the problem. And how to do that is asking three questions: who, what, and why. Now the who answers who is the user. You get who is the user. And from our brief, we're able to say that the users are what? Small business owners and market traders. That's the first thing you have to be able to get. Who is the user? We have gotten our users. Number two, what is the challenge they are facing? Right? That's the problem we're also trying to get. We're also trying to ask ourselves, what problem are these users facing? What challenge are they facing? And the challenge is that they struggle to withdraw cash, transfer money, and keep records of their transactions. Let's go back to the brief and see it. So the problem, the challenge they're facing is they want to be able to withdraw, transfer, fund their wallets, pay suppliers, and view transaction records. So we have been able to get who are the users, small business owners, and market traders. What is their challenge? They want to do all this, right? Now the next thing is why, which is the impact of that challenge. What does that challenge cause, right? The why is POS agents may be unreliable, transactions may fail, and bank branches are often inconvenient, which leads to delays, frustration, and poor financial record keeping. So now, in essence, we have gotten our brief, we have understood the brief. Now we have broken down everything to be able to understand or define the problem, which we have used by asking ourselves three questions: who is the user, what challenge are they facing, and what's the impact of that challenge, right? Why, which is what is the impact of the challenge, right? Now we have gotten two things: breaking it down and defining the problem. Now once you have defined the problem, you then create a problem statement. So that's the next step we are going to: problem statement. And there's a template that I feel like I've created, so that, or it's not even that I've created, it's there, right? So that you can always use it to create a problem statement for yourself from a brief. So how do you create a problem statement? This is the template. Number one, user group. That is, who are the users? User group in bracket struggles to, then in bracket their challenge. So now we are going to replace this user group with the users. So we know that our users are who? Market traders and small business owners. So we replace this user group with what? Market traders and small business owners. So it's going to be market traders and small business owners struggle to, what is their challenge? Their challenge is they want to withdraw, transfer, and keep proper transaction records. So this is their challenge, right? Then what is the next thing is what? Because, which is the reason. Do you get? Which is the reason. So now we have started with user group, which is market traders and small business owners. Then we say market traders and small business owners struggle to what? What's their challenge? They struggle to withdraw, transfer, and keep transaction records. Because of what? The reason is what? Because POS agents can be unreliable and failed transactions are difficult to resolve, right? So that is the reason. And then what is now the negative outcome of this? It now results towards delays, frustration, and poor financial management. This is how you create your problem statement. If you don't know how to actually create a problem statement, this is what you can use. It's very easy. It's a template. You find the user, you find their challenge, you find their reason, and you find the negative outcome that can happen. Do you get? Then you replace it in this template. So when I give you a brief now, all you have to do is to get the problem. If I give you another brief and I say, okay, find the problem from this, you go and look at it. Okay, who are the users first of all? What is their challenge? What reason do they have? And what is the negative outcome of this challenge that they're having? With that, you'll be able to create a problem statement. You get? So that's the first thing we will do, right? Defining our problem, then creating the problem statement. Then after that, what do? We now identify our users. Now, if you remember what we said, the users are, let's go back to the brief so that all of us are flowing together. Who are the users? The users are who? Small business owners and what? Market traders. So now you have to now ask yourself, who are these small business owners? Who are these market traders? Do you get? That's how you identify your users, right? You now start asking yourself, who are these business owners? Who are these small business owners, right? And then you start saying, oh, okay, we have people in the market. Those are part of the users we are trying to create these products for. Okay, we have people in the market. Those are market traders. Secondly, small business owners. Okay, maybe POS agents. They could also fall under this category of users of our products that we want to build. Who else again? Maybe small shop owners, people who just have shops on the road. They're also small business owners. So that way, we are now identifying the users of this product. You remember that the first thing is to break down the brief. The second is that we have gotten the problem that this product, we have gotten the problem that this product is trying to solve. Then the next thing is, okay, let's identify our users. Who are the people that are going to use this product? Who are the people that are going to do this? Do you get? So we have now identified our users and we can just list them as, okay, market traders, POS agents, small shop owners, food vendors, like small food vendors on the road. They're also part of our they're also part of the small business owners that we can target. So these are like our potential users, but not our target users just yet. So that way we have now been able to get what do we call it? We have been able to get from the brief, number one, what the brief is all about, the products we are trying to solve for, which is a fintech startup, right? We know it's a fintech startup. We know that this product is for small business owners and for market traders. We have also been able to define the problem of this product, and now we have also been able to identify the potential users of the product. So you now have an idea in your mind that, okay, what I'm about to design is going to be for so people. Do you get? You now know who you are targeting. You know who you are trying to target, right? You're not just going to be building a project anymore, right? You know who you are sorry you know who you are targeting, right? So that really helps you to now start having the mindset that, okay, this is what I have to do before I start designing, right? Now we have been able to do all those. What's the next thing to do? Competitor analysis. Now I'm sure most of us have seen this before, like somebody has maybe told you about competitor analysis before, or maybe you are working in a company where you have heard of, oh, who are our competitors, let's do an analysis, or is it a analysis? No, an analysis of our competitors. I don't know, I missed an L here, but anyways, so what is competitor analysis? Competitor analysis means checking other apps that solve something like the same problem we are trying to solve. So the reason why we do computer analysis is so that you can learn from their strengths and then you avoid their weaknesses. Simple. That's why we do computer analysis. So if for example, let's even take it out of this fintech product. Let's bring it back to like a normal person's life. If you were about to start a product, right? And let's say you wanted to start selling, let's just give it, what would I call it? Maybe phones, for instance. Maybe you want to start selling phones. Now what would you do? You would first want to understand the market. You want to know who are your competitors. Oh, Samsung is going to be my competitor, iPhone is going to be my competitor, Techno is going to be my competitor. You start to study them one by one. You try to understand like what they are doing and what they are possibly doing that is good. So you take their strengths from them. What is the next thing you want to do? You want to avoid their weaknesses. Or maybe you have heard that one particular phone, the screen is not so solid, or the battery is not so good. You start learning from the computer analysis. You are comparing them. You are trying to see, okay, what is the strength of this company, what is the weakness of this company. Then you now, from the computer analysis, you use that to help your own product to be better. Do you get? So that is what computer analysis is simply about, right? And why do we do computer analysis? or for SwiftServe, for instance, which is the product we are assuming that we want to build, right? We are doing it because we want to study other existing fintech apps. So we are using this our computer analysis. Um, Sorry, please can you mute your mic? Thank you. Okay, so back to what I was saying. If we are designing for SwiftServe, which is a fintech app, what are we going to do? Our competitors are going to be people who are actually in the fintech space already, who are doing same thing like we are doing, right? And if you look at it, we are going to have to go and check people that offer cash withdrawals, transfer, and agent banking services. Those are people that we are now going to go and study. We are going to use them as our competitors. Do you get? So that is what you would do. And I'm going to explain how you actually do a competitor analysis. Right? This thing may sound so foreign, like what is all this? How am I going to do this? Blah blah blah. I'm going to break it down for you so it will be as simple and easy as possible. Now, our competitor analysis helps us to understand what our users already like, what frustrates them, and what we can improve in our own design. Just like I said, if you want to start selling phones today, you would first of all understand the other competitors in the market, understand what they are doing that people already like, you understand what they are doing that people do not really like as much, and then you start using that to improve in your own design. Do you get? So that is what computer analysis helps us to do. And I'm going to show you an example. I use this SwiftServe. I looked out for competitors for SwiftServe, and I just created like a competitor analysis table, and this is what it looks like this, right? A computer analysis tells us the app. So here are different apps that are doing something like we are already doing. Do you get? That's the first thing. They are doing something like we are already doing. Then the next thing is we now break it down to three parts. Number one, what is easy to use on each of these apps that are our competitors. Number two, what is the confusing part? So what is confusing? What is not so good? What is not so great, right? On these products that are our competitors, what is not so good, and what can we learn, right? So when you have checked a product which is our competitor, maybe OP now is one of our competitors, we check what is easy to use, or maybe they have large buttons, quick actions. That's good. What's the confusing part? Maybe there are too many options on the home screen. You're like, okay, so users like the fact that there's a large button and quick actions that can make them make actions faster, but users don't like the fact that there are too many options on the home screen, right? So we have found the good, we have found the bad, and then write what we have learned. So what we can learn is, oh, let's keep important actions visible and maybe reduce too many options on the home screen, right? We go to the second competitor, PalmPay. What do? They have a simple transfer flow. Maybe when you transfer, it's very easy, not too much screens, not too much stress, and all that. You're like, okay, that's something good. What's the confusing part of PalmPay? These are just examples, by the way. What's the confusing part of PalmPay? Maybe they have too many promotional banners. Maybe as you're scrolling on the app, you're just seeing one ad, you're seeing one promotional banner, and on and on. And you're like, nah. As a user, maybe you have found out that the users don't like this. That's PalmPay users don't like this, or you yourself, after reviewing their products, you realize they have too much of this, and maybe users don't like it. Then what can we learn from PalmPay? We learn that, oh, let's reduce the distractions. Let's just keep it simple, right? Maybe users will prefer something just simple. We go again to another competitor, MoneyPoint. What is something MoneyPoint is doing well? Oh, maybe they have strong agent banking experience. They're like, okay, I like that part of MoneyPoint. What's something they're not doing so great? Maybe the business features may confuse new users, right? And you're like, oh, okay, maybe the business features are too, maybe the grammar they are using or the copies they are using are just too big, they are too ambiguous, they are not as simple as what a normal user would understand. What are we going to do? we're going to focus on reliability and clarity. So make it as simple as possible in our own product, right? Then we go to another product again, first money. What are they doing well? We say, they have clear transaction categories. So you know that okay, maybe transactions are broken down well. You can see your expenses, your income, and stuff like that. And then maybe one thing that is not good about first money may be that the interface just feels outdated. Maybe the experience is good, but the UI is not, maybe it's just not giving, right? And then us, we can now say, good, we are going to use a modern visual style, right? So we have now been able to see each of our competitors, what they are doing good, what is not so great, and what we can include in our own design that will make us better than our competitors. That's what competitor analysis does. And every single company does this. Every single company does this, right? So you as a designer, when you are also designing, you have to also check on these issues, because you cannot be designing. For example, let's assume we are designing a bank app now, for instance. Maybe they hired you to be a designer in a new bank, and you have heard that from several banks. Maybe I don't want to call examples, but these are just examples. Let's say, for example, you're using Access Bank, and maybe the experience you have isn't just so good, or you're using First Bank and it's not so good, or you're using Echo Bank and there are just some issues that you have. You cannot go and design exactly something like that again for another set of users. What it just means is you are designing the same thing as these um, previous issues, these previous other banks are doing, and you're just replicating it. That is not solving a problem. What you have to do is go and study what is working well for these other companies. Are they doing something good? What is the good thing they are doing? Let's imitate that part. What is something they are not doing so well? Let's take that one out of our product and then improve our design. Do you get? So that's basically what um what this is the one. So these are the things we're just covering for today, right? That's basically what you know um you have to do. That's Those are like the first few steps you have to take before designing a product, right? So this is day one, and these are like just a couple of things that um you need to take note of instead of just rushing. Just when you say just enter Figma, so no, don't do that, right? We only duplicated or replicated those screens to be able to help us to understand some basic, you know, things about design, understanding how to design for like different um, devices and stuff like that. But when you are giving a project, you don't just enter Figma. You need to understand what to do, understand the problem you are trying to solve, understand the solution you are trying to give. Do you get, before you start designing, right? And these things I just mentioned are very important um, um, to the progress or success of your own design. Do you get? So it's very important that you follow these design processes because they will definitely help you. So before I go to the assignments, does anybody have questions to ask? If you have questions, if you're not so clear about something, you can just feel free to ask, and then we can, I can explain some things over again for you, and I will now move on to the assignment. So over to you guys. Okay, Olawale,
I
please.
have a question.
Okay, so after Olawale, maybe Zoana, you go ahead.
Good evening, Obi. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
I want to ask a quick question here. So, let's take for instance this First Money app. You want to design an app, and you are looking at First Money app. You are taking the good part, like you said, and you want to leave out the bad type. But then the good type, I know there is something like copyright infringement. I don't know if it applies to UI UX too. But then if you want to design and you design exactly what exactly like First Money app, and then you took out the bad ones, and then you now add one or two things to make it your own app. less stressful and user friendly. Can you use the same design as First Money apps? So, and you are not going to infringe into the copyright. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So let me answer that question. In design, you're not meant to go and copy anybody's design like exactly how it looks and go and do the same thing. No. When I say you study what works, what I mean is, for example, I have, um, let's say, Piggyvest on my phone, and I'm trying to create um, another savings app. I'm only studying Piggyvest to know what is working. Not like when I want to design, I'm going to design exactly what they're doing. No, I'm just going to use the knowledge of what is working and interpret that in my own design. So I am changing some things. I'm not using exactly what they are doing. There are different ways in which you can still design. But I'm saying you have to study other designs. You have to study other products as to what is working. Then you use that to coin what is meant to, like how the product is meant to look like. Not that you are copying it word for word or how it looks for how it looks. Everybody just going to know, oh, this guy just copied this, right? But you have to study. Do you get? It's called research. You go to Pinterest, you go to other apps, other products. You study exactly, like you have, for example, let's take it back to a bank app now, right? Let's assume I want to build a new bank that is called Banky, right? Banky, that's the name of the new bank, and we already have access, FCMB, whatever you have, UBA, right? I'm studying what works in all of them, right? I'm not going to copy exactly it. No, I'm going to go and do my own research again and look for bank screens. I'm going to look for, okay, what if I design it this way? What if I could change this way? But it's still going to give that same experience. Do you get? So I'm not going to copy the exact same design. No, don't ever copy any design. It's wrong. It's more like you are even stealing, right? It's not right. No designer wants to think about something, design it, and then you just go and design the same thing and just change colors. Nah, it's not nice, right? So you have to think like a designer, like research, bring out different screens. Okay, what is working? What they do in this first part? What they do in this first section? Or what they do here? What they do here? Okay, then you start, you know, drawing your own, um, drawing the layout of your own app. Do you get? So it's not like you're copying. Don't ever copy anybody's design. Only look at theirs to study, to understand, to be able to have a good understanding of what to design. Don't go and copy anybody's design. Do you get? So I hope that answers your question. And then Zoana, please go ahead.
Hi, Obi. Good evening.
Good
Good evening,
evening.
everyone. So, my question is for research across the platforms that our design will be on our products. Is there any way to fast track it? Like, is there any app, like maybe Claude or AI, or maybe a search engine or whatever that we won't have to waste hours, going through each individual app, or just a way to get data fast and get the work done, then move into design.
Okay, so we all know that the world is evolving and AI is a very fundamental tool you can use in your design. So how can I use AI, for example, in this? So let's assume, I was given this as the project brief. Now I can use AI to tell me, okay, from this, um, I want to be able to know my competitors. So ChatGPT can tell me, oh, SwiftServe, the competitors for this product are going to be OP, this, that, and that. Now they have listed the competitors for you. But you as a designer, your work is to still do some research, and you learn by seeing, right? Every designer learns by seeing and by practicing, right? So once you see a design, you're like, oh, because the truth is, let's say for example, we are designing a bank app. Let's go back to the bank app. I know I'm using this now. how would you know what is working on a bank app or what is not working? You have to go and check maybe Play Store reviews. You go and check there and you see reviews of people and say, I don't like the fact that I'm seeing this thing here, and maybe a couple of people are saying the same thing. Now you cannot know how that design looks like without you seeing it. You get, so you have to also see it. You have to go and study it yourself. Okay, does this thing, this is what the users are complaining about. This particular section, users don't like it. You have to be able to research. You cannot skip that process. You can use AI to tell you what to go and look out for, but you have to do your own due diligence by actually researching. There is no single time when I'm handling a client's brief or client's app or product that I do not do my own research myself. I have to go and search the competitors. What are they doing that is good? Right? And there's almost no product that you are doing that somebody does not have something related to it. Right? It may not be exactly the same, but there's something related you can take from it. So it means that there's already reviews, there's already feedback on some designs already. There are feedbacks on some products. You have to see it yourself. You have to study it yourself. You have to go through those screens and say, oh, okay, now I understand why the users are complaining about this. Now I understand why and again, you don't forget that UI UX is not just about what you are seeing. It's also about the experience. There's UI and there's UX. UI is just the interface. If you as a designer do not even use the product, how would you understand the experience? Do you get? So you cannot skip that process. Do you get? ChatGPT will never really tell you every single thing until you use it yourself. Do you get? I don't know how to say exactly what I want to say, but it's more like, when you are currently in a situation where maybe something is happening, maybe let's assume a fight is going on, and somebody explains that fight to you. It's not the same as you seeing the fight yourself, you experiencing everything going on. Do you get? So that's exactly how UI UX is. You have to use the product. You have to understand it like your users. Then you'll be able to give a better explanation, a better breakdown as to what the product is all about and what you can do differently. So I hope that also helps. Does any other person have any question before I go to the assignment? Okay. I guess we are all good, right? Okay. So now to your assignment, I will still be sending this on the group though. So your own assignment is, you remember FinEasy, the one we designed, the mobile app. We are still going to continue with that. And your project brief is, this is it, right? FinEasy is also a fintech startup, and they want to help students and young professionals manage their money better. So the company, which is FinEasy, has noticed that so many young people, right, so many students and so many young professionals receive money regularly, maybe through allowance, maybe when their salaries, or through side hustles, but they often spend that money impulsively, right? They forget to save, and they struggle to track where their money goes. And they also find that many banking apps are just too complex. So now FinEasy's goal is for you to create a simple, secure and friendly mobile app that encourages better financial habits without overwhelming new users. So in essence, what I want you to do from this is simple. I want you to define the problem, which is what we have done before. The who, the what, the why. Who, the user, what, the challenge, why, what, like the outcome, right? The outcome, do you get? And then the problem statement. I've given you a template already. The templates, the users, their reason, the challenge. Remember what I can go back to it, but I'll do that after this. So I want you to create the problem statement, the competitor analysis table. So from this, I want you to just research, okay, who are the competitors of this product, right? And list like maybe 3 of them. And then just the same thing I did in this one, where you can just list like 3 different apps, list what is good, this maybe the confusing part for users, and I want you to do some research. Go to Play Store, go and do some research, look at what people are saying, especially what most people are complaining about, right? Note that down. Then what you can learn, write it down. You get. And then for the other parts where I mentioned, um, define the problem, right? Or and that's define the problem and the problem statement. I'll go back to this. Define the problem. This is the problem statement, right? And this is the template. So in this our brief now, you use this template. What are the users? What is their challenge? What is the reason? What does it result to? Right? Write that down. Right? That's all I want you to do. Then you define the problem. Who is the user? What is their challenge? And the impact of that challenge. Why? Right? So you write that down as well. And with that, all I want you to do is simple. Just problem statement, defining the problem, um, do your competitor analysis. That's simple. That's all I want you to do. Now, the reason why I want you to do this is you would start doing exactly what you are meant to be doing as a designer when you receive a project. Do you get? This is exactly the same process you are meant to follow while designing a project. So I am taking us through step by step. I do not want you to miss any part. So it's important that you take this serious, because you will be using the same thing when you start designing for people, when you start designing for clients, when you start designing for a company. You would need to understand what you're solving for. Now, the last thing I would say before any question is, sometimes clients don't give you a detailed brief, but that's why you ask questions. If a brief is just saying, for instance, oh, I want you to, so a client just reaches out and says, oh, I want you to build a fintech, or I have a fintech startup and I want you to just help me build an app for students and young professionals to manage their money better, and it just ends here. You have to ask questions. Sorry, what is the problem they're facing, right? What is this your own product going to solve, right? What's the difference between what you are doing and what somebody else is doing? Do you get? Then you now help that to coin your own problem and know the solution you can provide. So yeah, that's basically what I just wanted to say. And yeah, Wally, please go ahead.
I'm asking too many questions. So for PDF or slide, can we get it before we watch the YouTube video? I think I asked Jeff to help us share his own slides to them so that we can always go through it instead of going to watch the YouTube video. We watch the YouTube video when we need more clarification, but then the slides help us, like maybe when we are less busy, we want to read through, we want to just assimilate on our own instead of watching the video, because basically the video, when you pass where someone the important point and you're unable to judge, you have to start going back. But for the book, you can, at your own spare time, or the slides, your own spare time, just read through. In fact, for me, I like to print out. I can just print it out and then read on my own, and then I can jot down inside the paper. That way I understand better, and I get to stick more instead of watching the video. And all. Do you understand?
I do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. We'll try to also factor that in, and maybe also try to send you PDF files so that you can go through them. And if you need more clarification, you can also watch the videos on YouTube as well. I'm sure you'll get more clarification from there as well. So yeah. How's today's class, guys? How was it? Blessing, this is your first day. How was it? Was it good? Was it nice? Did you enjoy it? Did you learn something new? Emmanuel, Daniel, are you there? Okay. So I believe we were able to learn something new today, and I'm really glad, that we are all, learning together. And as I always say, don't give up on anything. Don't give up on anything. Always keep striving. As far as you have made the decision to learn, don't stop until in short, don't ever stop, because there's never a time you stop. I, as a designer, there are still new things that are coming up, still new trends. There's Figma motion now, there's shader effects. There are so many things, right? So I would always continue learning. And you, as a designer, you also need to you also need to learn and keep learning. Don't stop learning. Keep pushing yourself. Keep pushing yourself. Keep pushing yourself. Don't stop learning. Right? It's important for you to do that. And yeah, I believe that after, you know, a while, you too will be able to reap the fruit of your labor. I did not start as a designer. I never learned anything relating to science. What I learned was far from this, but I chose design as my career, and I'm taking it seriously. And you too can do that as well, right? You too can make a difference, and you can also teach and mentor others as well. So yeah, don't stop. Just keep doing what you're doing, and don't relent. Yeah, the sky is the starting point. That's what my mom used to say. So yeah, so I want each and every one of us to do the same. Yeah, and also for the assignment, for how you're going to submit, you can just, create a frame like that, like I've always done. Letter F, click on maybe desktop, like that, and then you can just simply write. Do you get? You can use your letter T on your keyboard, and write and write and write. So what I want you to do is break it down. Maybe you can do, yeah, just break it down like that. The problem statement, and the computer analysis. You get, just something simple, not too much design. So yeah, that's what I want us to do. I'll send you the Google form link and everything that you need. And please, let's take it seriously. And I pray that we're all going to be successful very soon. So see you at the top, and happy designing. And last thing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, I and Jeff's on. Follow Checkmate on Instagram. Maybe one day we'll create a LinkedIn profile and stuff like that, but for now it's just Instagram. So follow us on Instagram, the Checkmate community. Like, subscribe this YouTube video, because you'll be seeing it later on, and comment as well. Yeah, thank you all for joining. Yeah, I will. I think I will. I've had the plan already. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. Happy designing. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.